going on? King Stock here. Down to part 9. That's going to be the electronics. As you can see, I put the wheels on. I just wanted to, these are not the wheels that came with it. So I wanted to run those on and check the bearings and make sure these wheels would actually fit. See how they were and stuff. So I'll take them off and show you guys how to put them on. I mean, that's one of the easier parts, but right now we're down to electronics, which, depending which kit you got, this is for the Tamiya TT02D for drift spec. It came with an ESC, as you can see here. I do have to cut this off, put an XT90 on there, so I mean, depending on your battery, what batteries you run, may have to change that. You did have to buy your own servo and controller and receiver, so I'm going to be hooking those up. This is the servo I chose. It's a 20 kg. You can see that. Not really, the gleam, there you go. 20 kg. Maybe a little overkill. Knock it down to a 15, but we'll see. It's a Metal Gear. Yeah, we'll see. See if it's any good. And the receiver, what I'm going with is a Radio Link. Just bought this, brand new. I hear good and bad about them. They're not crazy expensive, so I figured I would give this a shot. A lot of doodads and this and that on it. Seems pretty cool if it works good. The trigger's a little goofy. It's not rounded. It's actually kind of like a, I don't know what you would call that, almost like a teardrop shape. So you got to really go far forward. But be nice if it was rounded, maybe. But it's all right. It's cool. It is a 6-channel. I have another vehicle I want to throw some lights on, so I bought 2 receivers. The only trouble, I don't know what you guys are using, but I have 2 antennas, so I'm gonna have to customize a little bit. We'll see, but this is might differ a little from how you guys do it if you just use a regular controller with one antenna, single antenna. But the next part you're gonna need is the servo, D12, which is the antenna holder. It looks like this. Now they also give you a receiver box which has the antenna holder on it. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to use both. It says if you use the box, don't use that. I can see it does get in the way. I'm gonna try. I'm thinking I might. I can't put this where it's supposed to go, so I think I may actually try to get a longer screw and put it up here like that, and then you have the other one that's right here, or put it somewhere. Maybe just use the screw holes. If not, you could try to glue it to the side or screw it in the top, screw it in the side, whatever your flavor is. However you can make it work. Also need three MA3s, probably only 2 if you're not using that small antenna holder, and 2 MC2s, which have the shaft. They're threaded at the bottom. They have the shaft at the top. See if I can scrounge those up. looks like that right there. See that one in the middle? It's got that shaft at the top and threaded on the bottom. And I'm sorry, before that antenna, alright, also you're going to need two A12s. Which, these guys right here, they are your, I don't know what they call them in here, but pretty much servo posts, one on each tree, parts tree. Don't forget to trim them up. I was just telling my wife, trimming all these little tabs off is almost more time consuming than putting the whole vehicle together. You know, I'm kind of being a little tedious, a little nitpicky with it. But I figure if I can get them all nice and smooth and looking good now, I won't worry about them later. All right, you got those. All right, you're gonna also need A5. That guy right there at the top. As you can see, this may be the last part on this one tree. There's a few on the other A tree, spares I'm guessing. In the trash box. Alright, A5. You can see this is the other one. Not much left to it. Probably won't need it again. D6. Let's go for that first. It's that guy right there. And A5, D6. Looks like two B11s. Bam. And the B11's like, last time. We're going to snap those in that D6 that's part of the steering linkage with your needle nose. I'm going to do that now before they wind up rolling off my table. Boom. Now MB1, 2 of those, and MC4, 2 of those, and 2 MB9 washers. I believe that's these guys here. It's kind of the last of them. You see the washers in there. Looks like that's the last of the bag. And in the trash box. Alright, grab your servo and hook your servo horn up. Now your guys may look different than mine depending on what you're rocking with. I have a aluminum one instead of plastic that came with this servo. So I'm going to rock with that. You got your servo. Now pay attention where your wire is. When you install it on the vehicle, it's going to matter if it's, you know, on the left side, closer to the shaft, or out here. I'm going to try to put it out here, just to keep as much as I can away from this shaft. So for video purposes, I'm just going to put this together once I get the car up and running. I would highly suggest, if you have a servo like this with the aluminum horn, there's a screw that goes in here attaching to the servo, and then one that goes, 2 that go through it to kind of clamp it. I would highly suggest Loctiting those. Just to avoid them coming loose and stripping your servo, because that's exactly what will happen. Now, this servo came with 2 screws to clamp it together, and there should be another one. I have to check on that. You know, I grabbed this off Amazon. I think it was 15, 16 bucks. 16. Got here in 2 days. Can't complain. I have used one other one from Amazon, and so far so good. It's been pretty decent. No high quality, souped up servo. If anybody needs to know which servo this is, drop a comment, hit me up. I'll let you guys know. I'll send you the link. I don't know how to post that link up here or do any of that stuff. So just hit me up or comment, and I'll get it to you. That's okay, Pikachu. Thank you. That is one of my little cretins. So yeah, I would recommend Loctiting all three, but don't, when you first set it up, don't, because once you get power to this and you set it up, you know, right now it's dead level, so the tires would be perfectly straight, but once you turn it on, it may be, you know, instead of it being straight, it may go this way, one way or the other, and you may need to adjust it. So I would wait till you are 113% sure it's in the right location. Now I have these for the drill. I do have regular ones. I just don't feel like grabbing them, and I'm just snugging this together to try and get everything in place. And that is a 1.5 millimeter head for this particular servo. Alright, she's tight. Now, next looks like we're going to take one of those MB1s, which is the longer screw, and it's going to go through the D6. Pretty sure it don't matter which way, but and then it actually screws into the A5 piece in the center. And by the looks of it, it goes that way, not this way. It goes this way. From the drawing, that's the way it looks. I'm assuming that's to get over the shaft. I could definitely see myself upgrading to aluminum steering linkage and an aluminum shaft eventually down the line. But we're going to see how this holds up. I mean, it may surprise me. It may hold up really well. Alright, and then the other MB1 goes through the other side of this D6 and into the servo horn. It only shows one hole in the servo horn. Mine has two. I'm going to put it in the top, see how that goes. That's something that you can always easily adjust. But as you can see right there, and it goes on the servo side, so like that. So, yeah. Once you hook that up, grab these A12s. Doesn't look like it matters which way's up or down, but they go against the servo. The flat part goes against the servo, rounded part towards the back, and those MC4 and MB9 washers. Looks like one screw on each side, which I'm surprised, not two. They may come later on. If not, I would suggest using it. Might be overkill. It just keeps everything together more soundly. Now my servo, the holes on the side are not complete, so the screw can slip out. I don't know if my other ones are like that. I think they are. I think they may most be like that. So if two more screws don't go in here, I'm gonna get myself some just to make sure this thing is 100% locked down. I'm going to assume if it doesn't call for it, you don't need to, but, you know, again, rather be overkill. Than not. And even as tight as you go, see that's hooked up now. To the other side. As tight as you go, it still swings. Obviously, you're going to screw it from the bottom of the chassis in, but still. I would say for now, put the screws in the top hole because you're going to screw these servo towers in through the bottom of the chassis. So the top hole will keep this from moving, but whatever you prefer, unless you have some extra screws laying around right now and you put all four on the sides. Again, all four may be overkill. You might not need it. Somebody in the comments, you know, if you think it's completely unnecessary, let me know. Alright, both those are screwed in. One thing that does kind of suck is they are screwed in towards the front. So if you ever have to take this out, you're probably going to have to go underneath and loosen both of these servo towers, take the whole thing out, take the towers off, put them on the new servo. But it looks like that's the only option they give you. So that's what we're going to rock with. All right, next up, Alright, next up, I'm going to grab those MC2s in this package and connect the rest of the steering linkage. Don't forget, add a little grease to these shafts. Whoa, so if you hopefully you have at least a little bit. I got barely any left, but just a little. And then when you screw screw that in, I'll show you right to the end of that steering linkage, one on each side. Show you. Wipe the excess off just so it doesn't get all over the place. And you can see right here, that is the linkage. See, comes up, goes over, boom, that's the top of that piece we just connected to the servo right here. Now they are connected. Now you should screw the servo from the bottom next with the MA3s. And the MA3s have flat heads.
You want me to? Huh?
Got it.
Actually, gotta go now.
Let me show you what these look like real quick. Just like that. If you remember from earlier, see how it's got a flatter head? You need two of those. They go from underneath. Just make sure you line your holes up as best you can. It'll be a little difficult to see, but kind of gently feel around. And don't crank down on it. Get the one in most of the way. It'll help you line the second one up. Again, you should be able to feel it. Boom, right in there. And you'll feel that tighten down on the bottom if you hit that hole. If not, she'll just spin ever so slightly. Oh, like that. You can kind of line it up from the top, put your finger on it till you get that screw started, get a thread or two on her, and she will pop right in for you. Tighten them both up, snug, don't overkill it. You know the servo is going to move, so you want to make sure it's snug, but you don't want to kill it and strip it out. Alright, now let's see. We got movement. Boom, 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 boom. Alright. Servo is hooked up. One thing I did not do, I probably should, but I want to see with the rest of my electronics, you know, use double-sided tape. Probably don't need to on the servo, but for these next parts, if you have some, if your kit has it, some people I've seen shoe glue them, hot glue. You know, I'm going to use double-sided tape, maybe a little bit of shoe glue and see if it works. So I don't recommend it. It's my first time. I'm going to try it, but pretty much going to have to take the ESC, put it on top of my servo, and then try and get this receiver box in back of the servo, which I'm looking right now, and where the wires on the motor are, it doesn't want to fit. So it might be an issue, but you got your servo connected. Part 9 will be up next. We're going to hook up the receiver box and the receiver and the ESC. If you guys liked it, hit that thumbs up. If not, hit it down. Leave some comments. Appreciate it.